tonight's show. It's called what's it called? The World is Running Out of Time. So, The World is Running Out of Time, episode 665 of Mike and the Knights. And welcome everyone to Mike and the Knights. And tonight I want you to imagine something, okay? Picture this, okay? An enormous hourglass sitting in the middle of civilization. A gigantic hourglass. Beautiful glass. Beautiful wood bottom, top, bottom. This beautiful crafted hourglass. And it's sitting right in the middle of civilization, okay? Because I want you to picture this, okay? And for a generation, this sand has been falling. The sand has been falling for civilizations, okay? And this sand is falling. Slowly, it's falling quietly, one grain at a time. An empire rises, a currency disappears, a government falls, a new generation is born. And this new generation is born believing they're believing that the world around them has always existed nicely, all in order, right? And they believe that this type of world that they're born in the last 20, 30 years, will exist forever. But as of lately, guys, we're starting to hear the last grains of sand go through that hourglass. We're seeing it come down. We're seeing it fall to the end, right? And if you look around you, the buildings are still standing. The banks are going to open Monday morning. Traffic lights still turn red to green or green to yellow red or whatever you see it. Politicians still behind the podiums to maintain that continuity of government, right? And your phone still wakes you up, right? Everything looks normal. And this is the skyscraper dark ages we've been talking about. Big grand cities. But this dark age is being ushered in, right? And sometimes an old house looks perfectly normal. If you remember that story from the Bible, the foundation story of the Bible, built on sand or concrete, you need a good foundation, right? But right before the foundation gives way, you start to hear cracks. Then you hear more cracks. And then cracks start appearing on your wall. So what do? You paint over it. Another crack appears. You hang a poster over one. A concert poster over another one. Eventually, you're spending all your time trying to hide these cracks. And instead of asking what's happening underneath the house, that's where I think civilization is right now. It's happening underneath the house, and the foundation isn't built on concrete. And now we're asking the questions. Now, the damage is already done, right? And because we've been built off of trust. Our Western civilization has been built off of trust, off of Christian principles, right? Trust that money will mean something tomorrow. Your money, your savings will mean something. Trust that hard work builds a future, right? That's what they gave us, right? Trust that your children will live better than you did. Trust that people running the system actually understand the machine they're working on. And they don't, and we know they don't. And that's the loss of no confidence in government. We were seeing the same thing in 2018 when the world was protesting no confidence in government. What did? They pulled the trigger on a pandemic. And the trust is disappearing. One grain at a time. One piece of sand at a time. Right? We're at debt is exploding. War, housing, inflation, artificial intelligence, political division. Families are struggling right now. Young people wondering whether they'll ever own anything, right? Because everything has gotten so purposefully and by design expensive. Now governments are borrowing for people who haven't been born yet. And we've been talking about the generational wealth theft. And we've covered it years and years, warning you about this. And every time another grain of sand falls towards its end, we're being told by governments everything is fine. But history has a strange, how do we put it? History has a strange sense of humor. Okay? Because every civilization eventually believes history happens to somebody else. And I was thinking that today. The collapse of the Roman Empire, that was somebody else, right? The Great Depression, That was somebody else. All these wars, World War II, that was somebody else. Currencies collapsing. No, that was in Africa somewhere. That was somebody else. That won't happen here. But those people that it happened to in these history books were normal people, having dinner at home. They all had jobs. They had children. They had bills. They had a baby planned for next year. They had children. They planned for next summer. Okay? And they went to sleep thinking tomorrow would look like yesterday, until one morning it just didn't look like it anymore, right? And for me, that's what makes the moment we're in frightening. Okay? Because I believe that history is not going to kick down the door like it did before. Maybe it will knock softly. It'll start where you start defaulting on payments. Credit cards are maxed out. A business starts closing down the street. Jobs start disappearing. They're doing job cuts. Housing becomes completely unaffordable, where you're forced into homelessness for the first time. Quantum computing comes out and replace thousands of workers. Robots come and take away the fast food jobs. Another $1 trillion gets borrowed from your great-grandkids' future. Another emergency is declared. Another war begins, okay? Another promise is made, okay? Another grain falls through the sand and through that hourglass. But there's something important, and this is why I'm depicting this as an hourglass. Because when that final piece of sand falls through that glass, in my opinion, time doesn't end. Why? Because someone is going to flip that hourglass over. The Great Reset. And everything will begin again. This is what tonight's really about. Not the end of the world, but the end of a world. The end of an era. And we're not in the ending of times, but I think we're in that hallway between the two worlds. We're in the hallway from the old world to the new world. And a lot of people don't know, and they're starting to realize that the door behind them is closed. That door has closed behind them already, but the new door hasn't opened yet. And for a little while, we're going to be standing in this darkness. From 2010 to 2030, this is the darkness we're standing in, right? And when that happens, you need to carry to the next side what matters. Your family, your faith, community, history, knowledge, skills, truth, right? That's what you carry to the other side. Because the old world is running out of time, folks. I'm telling you, tomorrow is not the end. I'm telling you to watch the hourglass. Listen to the house cracking. Watch the cracks form. Connect the dots is what we've been saying. Because someday, historians will look back at the years we're living in through right now and say, that was the moment the old world disappears. We're between intertimes right now. The old world's disappearing. That door hasn't opened to the new world, right? And that's what they're going to say, historians. And maybe you won't see an announcement. There won't be a bell ringing. There won't be. You just have to notice that last grain of sand falling. Connect those dots, because maybe we'll simply wake up one morning and look behind us and realize, quite simply, that the world we thought would last forever is already gone. Thank you guys for being here to episode, what is this, 665 of Mike in the Night. The old world is running out of time. I got an image for you guys there on the thimble. Where'd he go? There it is. The old world's running out of time, 665. Thanks for being here tonight on Mike in the Night.